The statement of purpose is no doubt one of the key components that determines your success in application when you're applying to college or university, whether for your undergraduate studies or for your grad school. The statement of purpose is one of the key components, one of the key determinants that will show whether you will be admitted to that school of your dream. Unfortunately, most applicants do not understand this secret. So in this video, I'll be sharing with you 10 of the common mistakes I have seen by working over the years, by working with applicants who are applying to various schools. I'll be sharing with you these 10 common mistakes. But let's start by defining what is a statement of purpose. A statement of purpose primarily consists of four key components. A statement of purpose is a story you tell, a story you sell, a compelling story about who you are. Remember, the admissions committee will be reading all the things you have submitted about your application, but they do not really know you. So the statement of purpose provides you that opportunity to introduce yourself to the admissions committee, to introduce yourself to the admission committee because your transcripts and all these other achievements you have in the overall application may not necessarily tell your story. So the statement of purpose gives you that opportunity to tell your story to the admissions committee. The statement of purpose basically consists of four main parts. First, who are you? The admissions committee wants to know you. Where are you coming from? What is your family background? What is it that informs that person that you are? What is it that defines you? What are your life experiences? The second thing they want to know is what have you done? What have you accomplished in the past? And the third thing they want to know is what do you want to do after this? If we give you the admission to our school, if we admit you and you come and you successfully graduate, what will you want to do with your life? And the fourth thing they want to know is why this school? Why are you applying to this particular school, to this particular program, not to a myriad of other schools out there that are offering the same thing, and not to other programs that this particular school offers? So those four components are things you should keep in mind when you are writing your statement of purpose. Again, who are you? What have you done? What do you want to do? Why this specific school and program? So, in telling this story, you need to sell it in a compelling way. Your statement of purpose needs to be compelling. Remember, you are competing with hundreds and in some cases thousands of applicants like you vying for few spots in that program. Why should they choose you and not the other hundreds, if not thousands of applicants? Now, let's talk about some of the common mistakes that applicants make in trying to sell themselves or in trying to sell this story to the admissions committee. The first mistake is what I call autobiographical. In other words, the admissions committee, what is contained in your statement of purpose when the admissions committee looks at it is you're just telling them your own autobiography. It's like you have written an autobiography about yourself, your history, and everything about your parents, your village, your high school, your grad school, your challenges, and everything. 90%, if not more, of the statement of purpose consists of that. That is not what they want to know. Of course, it is an aspect. Remember, we said, who are you? They want to know who you are, but that is not all it. But most applicants make this mistake of taking the whole thing. The entire statement is about, it's like they are writing a memo. It's like they are writing their own autobiography. If you do that, your statement of purpose will lack substance. The second common mistake that I see is anecdote without substance. What do I mean by that? Of course, the statement of purpose is all about storytelling, you telling your story in a very compelling way. But sometimes applicants take this to the extreme. They tell stories, maybe they are very good at telling stories, and at the end of the day, that is all you see in the statement of purpose. It's all about their life stories, stories about their childhood, stories about their challenges and travels and all those things. But at the end of the day, it doesn't have substance, especially tailored toward that particular program. So you need to avoid telling so much story and at the end of the day without any substance. Yes, the admissions committee wants to hear your story, but they also want to see some substance. They want to know that you have done your research, you know what the program is all about, you know what the school is all about, and that type of thing. The third mistake is the opposite of the second mistake. It is too academical. Too academical. Sometimes students or applicants think that telling stories is not probably what the committee wants to see or wants to know. And at the end of the day, they are too serious that they just go about telling facts about that particular field, that intended field of study, or that particular program. They are just going into research, maybe quoting some authorities. Remember, the statement of purpose is not a term paper. The statement of purpose, yes, it is an academic exercise, but don't make it too academic, especially tailoring it towards just facts about that field. Remember, by applying to a school, you have to pretend a level of ignorance. If you know everything, there is no need for you to go to the school. Sometimes people go on research, they do all their research and they bring all these facts and lump them into their statement of purpose. That will not serve you well. The fourth common mistake I see is unclear goals. No clear goals. Your statement of purpose should have some clear objectives. What do you want to achieve? Why do you want to come to this program? Just as we said, the statement of purpose, one of the components of a statement of purpose is what will you want to do after this program? How will this program prepare you for your life's objectives and goals? Sometimes people write statements of purpose, they tell a very good story, but they do not include this important component. So remember to always include clear goals and objectives about the program and how that is going to prepare you for your future goals and vocation. The fifth mistake I see, believe you me, I see this a lot, is poor writing, grammatical errors, no good punctuation. Remember, you are writing, this is an academic exercise. You are writing to a committee of academics, most of whom are professors. If you are like me, poor editing and poor grammar easily puts me off, whether in writing or in speech. I'm not perfect in my grammar or in my speech, but I try my best, right? But sometimes people take this lightly. It may be just carelessness, not because they do not understand the rules of grammar and punctuation and that type of thing. But some people are just careless. They are too casual. They don't use all patches where they are supposed to for proper names and places. And you know, when the admissions committee is reading that, you are telling them something about yourself. You are telling them that you do not take yourself seriously. Why should they take you seriously? So please, if you are writing your statement of purpose, even if you are poor in grammar, there are all these apps and software that will help you to edit your work. Something like Grammarly, and all these kinds of. I'm not selling anything here, but there are things that will help you with your punctuation and your grammar and all those things. Try and edit your statement of purpose in simple terms. And something related to this poor writing is the use of colloquialism and slangs. This is a formal writing. Avoid the use of colloquialism and slangs and casual language because this is a very important assignment. Another mistake I see, which is common, is plagiarism. Believe you me, there are people that All they do is they ask their friends or they just Google something, a sample statement of purpose from the internet, edit it and send. If you do that, you're already setting yourself up for failure. These committees are not stupid, okay? They have all kinds of things that you cannot imagine that they check these things. Don't do anything internet. Don't do anything internet. Even if your friend or your brother or someone you know has written a good statement of purpose and they have used it to gain admission to somewhere and they have even completed the program, please avoid copying that. That is a serious crime in academia. Remember, you're going to school, they want honesty. Plagiarism is academic theft. So you don't want to give the impression that you are a dishonest person, right? So avoid plagiarism in all forms. Another mistake that is common is the word limit. Word limit. Exceeding the word limit can put you in trouble. For instance, most schools will tell you do not exceed so and so words. Write your statement of purpose not exceeding 1,000 words, 1,500 words, 800 words, 500 words. If you have more to say, please don't. Sometimes, if you exceed with one or two, I advise people, my basic advice is do everything possible not to exceed with a word. All right? So don't exceed word limit. If you do that, the impression you are giving the committee is this person does not understand simple instructions. So take that seriously. The flip side of that is if they say 1,500 and you are sending 300 words or 500 words or 700 words, that is so grossly inadequate. So I would rather you do not exceed word limit than to exceed it. But that being said, also try as much as possible not to write too little. All right. If they say, as a rule of thumb, if the word limit is 1,000 words and you write 900, that is okay, in my opinion. Sometimes even 800 is okay. But if you write 600, that is not okay, right? So and if you write 1,100, that is also not okay. So just try to keep your writing, your statement of purpose within the word limit. But there are a few situations where the admissions committee does not specify. If that is the case, I will advise you Google, do your homework, do your research to find out basically what is the word limit for such programs in other schools and try to keep it within that range. Don't go on writing them a 10-page paper. Believe you me, the admissions committee, no matter how fascinating your story is, they do not have time to go through all that because they are dealing with a ton of other people. You are not the only applicant. Remember that. Another common mistake is what I call rush work. Sometimes students wait until the last minute before they write their statements of purpose. In dealing with applicants over the years, one of the funny things I usually hear from them is, don't worry, this afternoon I'll write it and submit everything. I'll be like, what? Write your statement of purpose? Or someone will even say, I've once had a student tell me or an applicant tell me that I was working with, I will write it during lunch. Write your statement of purpose during lunch. The statement of purpose is something that needs thoughtfulness. And we're not talking about one day here. We're not even talking about 2 days. We are not talking about three sittings. If you want to write a compelling story, it needs a lot of reflection and thoughtfulness about your life, bringing a lot of thoughts, a lot of editing, a lot of striking out and adding, all those things. You need to be going back and forth with that. If possible, try to engage a third party, and that is where we are admissions experts exist, right? So I'll talk a little bit about that at the end of this video. If you need help with things like this, we are here to help. My organization, Admissions Experts, is here to help. We do this type of things. But generally speaking, whether you work with us or not, try to give good time, a lot of room for you to think about your statement of purpose before writing it. You write it, you think about it, you reflect about it, you take a break, a lot of other fresh ideas come in and you include that, you remove some, you keep going back and forth. Successful statements of purpose are the ones that have been written through a lot of processing and thoughtfulness. Here's another common mistake: unnecessary flattery. Sometimes applicants, in an attempt to impress the admissions committee, go on flattering the school and the professors. They say things like, in all my looking and searching, I have never seen a school like the University of Notre Dame. You are the best in the world. Your professors are the best in the world. I've never seen anything like that. Your campus is the most beautiful campus in the world, and that type of thing. Be careful in the way you use your superlatives. Remember, they are not, suffering from self-esteem. Any school you are applying to, they are not suffering from self-esteem. You are not the one to boost. It is not your responsibility to boost their self-esteem by telling them how wonderful they are. It is the list of things they want to see in your statement of purpose. Just tell them how you, as a candidate, fit in their program and how they too can serve you better, right? Why both of you are the best fit for each other. Don't go on flattering them. Those type of, unnecessary flattery can actually be a negative in your statement of purpose. And the last mistake I want to point out, which is fairly new in this field of writing statement of purpose, is the use of AI. Chat GPT, for instance. This is a challenge, I know, even for admissions committee, but believe you me, there are apps out there that have been developed to check Chat GPT. Chat GPT, using Chat GPT in few seconds to write your statement of purpose is not organic in any way and is a form of plagiarism. So you need to be very careful about that. If you use Chat GPT, even if you edit it and try to make the story your own, believe you me, this software out there, there are a lot of software out there that will detect that. And if they do, they take your statement of purpose, run it through that, and they see it, your admission is thrown in the bin, in the trash. And that is the end of the story. So try your best not to fall into that temptation. I know it's very tempting for you to want to use ChatGPT. ChatGPT can give you some very good statement of purpose, but do you know what they lack? They lack a human touch. And the admissions committee, even if they do not use software, are easy to detect that. ChatGPT does not speak, does not write the way a normal human being will write. ChatGPT is all about facts and organizing things because it doesn't have human emotion. The way I will tell my story, ChatGPT cannot tell my story. In as much as you are writing as a human being. It has that emotional, that human element that Chat GPT lacks. I once had an experience with a student, I think it was last year, that we were working with back and forth. And I asked them to go and write their statement of purpose. And after a day or so, they sent me a very wonderful statement of purpose. I know this student, right? I've interacted with them, I know them. When I saw that, the first thing I told them was, you use ChatGPT to write this. I didn't even run it through any software. It didn't take 5 minutes for me to know, right? And their minds were blown. They were like, how did you know? Right? And I said, I just knew because humans don't write this way. So please try to avoid that. So those are some of the common mistakes that applicants make in writing their statement of purpose, otherwise known as SOP. In case you are struggling with applying to any school, especially if you are from the continent of Africa and you want to study overseas, like in the United States or in Europe or Canada or wherever, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and my team. You can contact us at admissionexpert@gmail.com. Admissionexpert@gmail.com, as displayed on the screen right now. Expert is X with a PAT. Send us an email and we'll respond to you if you want to work with us. Or you can visit our website on www.admissionexperts. Experts there is spelled experts.com. Admissionexperts.com, and schedule a Zoom call, a free Zoom call, and we will get to work with you. You will see a lot of information about us. Until then, until I come your way next time with another interesting video talking about admissions. Until then, take care of yourself. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel and you want to see content of this nature, I'll invite you to do that. Take care and bye for now.